It has finally happened. It has finally happened. What Wunmi and her crew member, her cartel, said they will do, that exactly is what they are doing right now. You see, when we said that Mohbad's father should be careful and that he should secure himself, that we are dealing with not just physical criminals, we are dealing with spiritual criminals. These people work hand in hand. I've always told you that it's not about Wunmi. Wunmi is nobody. She is nobody. But there are certain people behind. And for this to remain this way, for this to have stayed this long, for this injustice to have stayed this long, it reminds me of what a military general back in those days when Nigeria was still directly under military rule, he said, if an imbalance such as insecurity exists for more than 48, 72 hours, that is 3 days, you should know that the government is involved. And it is not just from the executive. Government have different arms. He said the government is involved. That can be credited to no other than late military general Abacha. I want to welcome you guys once again, and I want to also encourage you on this justice for Mohbad. You're about to hear some very deep, explosive one. You will get to see and you'll get to hear the next action of the cartel surrounding Cynthia Omowumi Adebanjo that wants us to call her Mrs. Aloba when the man that brought that name said, no, you cannot be Mrs. Aloba. Well, Wunmi and a cartel, they have attacked Mohbad's father. Yes, they have attacked Mohbad's father. And we will not be quiet. We will stand strong, firm. And we will send back that arrow that has been sent to Mohbad's father. Justice for Mohbad. Justice for Mohbad. I've always told you, it's not about Mohbad. It's about humanity. So it is now justice for humanity. Justice for humanity. Mohbad is simply the face to this justice that we are all standing for. Before I proceed, like and share, tap on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell if you're just coming across this channel. To further encourage this channel to do more, tap on that thanks button. It is after the download button, the one with the love and $ in the middle of it. Let's get right into it.
Wunmi Aloba, the wife of the late singer Ilerioluwa Oladimeji Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad, has served her father-in-law, Joseph Aloba, a pre-action notice. The pre-action notice demands an apology from Joseph Aloba for defamation, offensive and libelous social media and newspaper posts and publications against her. Wunmi, popularly known as Wunmi, who served the notice through her lawyers, said that her father-in-law recently resorted to a newspaper campaign of calumny, character assassination, name-calling, defamation of characters against her and use of reckless language to portray her image and personality to gain cheap attention and sympathy from unsuspecting members of the public. The letter read, "We have been consulted, briefed and our services retained by Mrs. Aloba Cynthia Omowunmi, hereinafter referred to as our client, and at her behest, we write you in respect of the above subject. Our client's brief reveals that you have recently resorted to newspaper campaign of calumny, character assassination, name-calling, defamation of characters against her, and use of reckless language to portray the image and personality of our client in order to gain cheap attention and sympathy from the unsuspecting members of the public." The letter cited an example of an interview Mohbad's father had with Westo Adejumo Adekunle on African TV, where he was reportedly quoted as saying that he had so much hatred for his late son's widow. Mohbad's father was quoted as saying in the interview, "I made mention of something in the court that whenever this girl wanted to go and fuck around, she will add something to Indomie noodles to cook for my son to sleep off. And from there, she would enter another person's room in that Malian house to fuck another person. It was later that the girlfriend of that person she was seeing met her there. That was the person who revealed the secret to Mohbad, and Mohbad told me. You know, I could not even tell him that he should go and scare his wife away so far he could still manage it, but I know it was beyond natural. The letter further stated, apart from the above, there are other things said by you on other newspaper and online platforms that libeled and defamed our client's reputation. Sequel to the above, we hereby demand an immediate retraction of the said publications and interviews, which are libelous and had injured the reputation and self-esteem of our client in the eyes and estimation or perception of reasonable members of the society, as she has become an object of mockery and ridicule and can no longer move freely in the public or even in her immediate environment. Having said that, we hereby demand for a public apology to be published on all your social media profiles within 7 days of the receipt or delivery of this letter. The letter said, if, however, you fail, refuse, or neglect to hearken to this subtle demand, we will be left with no choice than to commence legal proceedings against you to assert our client's rights and claim 50 million naira damages in that respect. This letter serves as a pre-action notice to you in respect of the matter in question, and you are advised in your own interest to allow wise counsel to prevail.
Welcome back. Did you hear that? Now, Wunmi has declared war. Yeah, she has declared war on Mohbad's father. We are talking of a man who has requested for a paternity test to ascertain that that child called Liam is actually his son's own. And rather than Wunmi and her courts, I mean, even our legal representative, rather than them advising her and tutoring her and putting her in the right direction, they have resulted into bullying. They have resulted into seeking for a baseless, useless, fruitless legal journey. They will fail. In fact, they have failed. This is what we want. Unfortunately, for the lawyer representing Wunmi, he has failed. He has failed because if he thought about it properly, I mean, if he did really, if he took time to study and understudy what is about to happen, if he took time to peruse on it, if he took time to use all of his legal experience, if he took time to dwell on it, I am very sure that he will not take this step, because the response to this, which I believe they will run away, they will shy away from when this gets to the court, is to say they want to dwell on the initial request of Wunmi that Mohbad's father should quit talking about DNA or paternity test. Guys, do you understand what this is all about? Do you understand what is going to happen next? This is all out war. This is all out war against Mohbad's father. All out war. They are saying that they will not quit. They are saying that DNA is not to be, that DNA is nothing connected to justice. That's what they are saying. That Mohbad's father should desist. Mohbad's father should quit requesting for DNA. So Mohbad's father is being dragged to court because that's all that concerns Wunmi and Mohbad's father. Or is there any other thing that concerns Mohbad's father apart from waiting for toxicology and the autopsy report? That man has not said anything more than, I need DNA to be done to be sure that this child is my son's. If this is not done, I do not believe, and I'm not going to accept that this boy belongs to my son. That's all and nothing more. Now, at the initial stage of this DNA request, Wunmi and a cartel of wickedness, they thought that they had won. They thought that Mohbad's father will not get support from those that were ignorantly informed. They thought that Mohbad's father would not get that luminosity, positive luminosity again. But they were surprised. They came up with this broke, stupid request. And they said, oh, the man is poor. So how is he going to be able to pay for a test? So they said, we don't have money. We don't have money for a DNA test. If he's ready to pay, if he's ready to foot. And before they finished their utterance, thousands, millions, home and abroad, when Nigerians want to do, they do it. Home and abroad, they all told Mohbad's father not to bother. They said, if you proceed paying for DNA, we'll be angry. We are ready to foot. In fact, the 3 different laboratories that Wunmi requested for, one in the US, one in the UK, one in Nigeria, they said, we are ready to make it 50. If it is about this justice for Mohbad, we will do all that needs to be done. And immediately they realized that this is what it is. The next thing they did is to say, all right, you know what? You cannot force us. As if anyone was forcing them at the initial stage. They said, okay, you know what's going to happen next? If you really need us to do this. Now, who came out with this? Shekpeteri, the mentor of Wunmi, the transformer. She said, if this will be done, she said she had contacted a legal representative and they told her that it has to go via a legal pathway. All right. Mohbad's father, he didn't stop. No, he didn't stop. He simply contacted his lawyer to contact Wunmi's lawyer to request for a DNA test. Now, you see, contacting lawyer to contact another lawyer and all of that shows that there is a big, huge problem. And we all know what this problem is. Conspiracy to lie. Conspiracy to cover up. Wunmi will never do DNA. In fact, Wunmi will prefer to buy herself. Take herself out of this world and for her to avail that boy for a DNA, because that same DNA is what brought about the demise of Mohbad. What we are talking about is a strong team. It's a strong team. It's not a joke. It is a strong team. And when I say strong, I want you guys to know what I'm talking about. It's a strong thing. So they are hell-bent on making sure that none of this work. None of this works. They are hell-bent on making sure that none of this work. So now they believe that, dragging Mohbad's father to court, trying to muscle on him, saying that he cannot, he should not, he will not, he dare not, and all of that is to simply weaken his resolve in seeking for justice via DNA, apart from autopsy and toxicology. They want to weaken him. But I know that Mohbad's father has signed. In Nigeria, they say, it's like when you are conscripted, or let us say when you sign to be part of the military, you already sign your life to preserve, to protect. Whatever happens, happens. Mohbad's father has signed. He knows that somehow some forces worked against him, and it brought about the demise of his son. So this man is ready to do all that he needs to do now. Like, do everything that can be done now. Like he said, no, if by chance or by whatever, if I failed in the past, I will not fail now. I am not going to fail my son. I will not fail him. If this DNA is the last that needs to be done, I will make sure that I put my life on the line for this one. He is ready. That is what Wunmi does not know. That Mohbad's father is ready for anything. Mohbad's father is ready for anything. I've already seen it in his eyes. I've seen it in his eyes. The man is ready, like, you know what? This one is a do or die affair. This is the only way to deal with stubborn problems, stubborn people like Wunmi and Cartel. They believe, they think that they have all powers. They think that they can do and undo. No, you cannot do and undo. This is the end of the road for you, Wunmi. Let us see what you guys will do. Let us see how you guys are going to do this one. What has this man requested for? Simple DNA. He has not asked for your neck or your head to be cut off, Wunmi. So what is the big deal about DNA? He has not asked for anything. He said, I want to know what by my son. You offered him what he is not comfortable with. You offered him spiritual autopsy. That you know that you, your mom and your grandmother, you already have the secret to manipulating these things. So the man said, I'm a Christian. I don't do these things. I'm not doing spiritual autopsy. I want this that people will be involved in. I want this normal autopsy and toxicology. I want justice. I want it in a different way. I don't want some diabolic justice. We don't want that. So that you guys will manipulate some things. We don't want it. What we want is pure justice. And this man has stood resolute all through. Even against all odds, against him back then. He stood against all of this. He listened. He stayed calm. You know, this world is full of wickedness. This world is full of wickedness. This world is full of evil. I don't know what you guys think of this one. Drop your comment. Drop your comment. Drop your comment. See you guys in the next update.